The path to consistency is doing things over and over and over again that are consistently resulting in yielding positive results. And the easiest way to build confidence in what you're doing is finding comfort and trust in knowing that enough is enough. Missing trades and the fear of missing opportunities. If you go through this process, and it's long and arduous and it's boring, it really is boring, but once you get to the pattern of repetition, you will find it's almost like meditation, backtesting, studying, logging, tape reading, demoing. You'll get really comfortable with what you're looking for as a pattern. And then when you do have a losing trade, when you have an opportunity that fails, that you didn't see come to your outcome that you were hoping for, the targets weren't reached, and the whole idea failed and collapsed. If that occurs, you don't have a fear of missing out on the next trade if you sit still, because you know that your trades generally are repeating a lot. They're frequent. But you're not going to have that pattern of a losing trader if you go through this process. Because if you don't go through this and this approach to doing it, what are you going to use as experience or a frame of reference? Your gut, your emotions, and what you see other people doing. And that's what young guys do. Young guys like to look at the other crowd out there, and whatever grass looks greener, that's where they're going to jump. If they're system hopping, mentor hopping, trying to do what everybody else is trying to do and changing their model because they saw somebody else doing something, or which PD array they're going to use because somebody else is out there just doing breakers, and I'm making a big to do about fair value gaps now. They're like, oh, I can't do fair value gaps. Let me go over and do the breaker because I saw this guy, he made $10,000 in his funded account, and I saw the withdrawal through. That's my model. I saw that. No, you're being influenced. That stuff is social media garbage. It's toxic. It's not going to help you be a better trader. It's actually going to be an impediment. So unfortunately, that's the reason why a lot of folks come to us and they say, I'm a cult leader and this is a cult, because I'm trying to give you a mindset that's hive mentality. You have to subscribe to one viewpoint in the beginning. You have to, but you graduate and grow from that, and you find yourself in your own unique model in all the things I'm teaching. But if you're coming here and you want to apply a little bit of that and a little bit of this and somebody else's horseshit over here and what you read in a book and what you saw in a video over here, or this resembles this and I'm going to try to incorporate, you can't do those things and not be surprised at the results not being what you're hoping for. I have a full process here, and it's long, and it is very studious. And it requires a lot of rolled up sleeves and things that are going to take some time from you. And yes, time is a commodity that we don't have more of. When we were putting the tree together, I was dressing it with Caleb and Cameron. And Cameron was bitching about it because he wanted to go see his girlfriend. He's like, Dad, how much more do we have to put on this tree? And I was like, until they're all put on there. I can't reach up there, and I get dizzy when I get high up on a ladder. I get vertigo. It's 12.5-foot tree, so I had to have my son climb up on this extension ladder that I was so afraid it was going to tear up our wall. But Caleb says to Cameron, he says, instead of belly aching, why don't you just enjoy the time? Because look at that. He's 50 years old. He doesn't have much time left. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? I have much fucking time. I know I'm 50, but for fuck's sake, I'm not a senior citizen. Jesus. Well, here's what we got here. You're going to have this influence of people around you, just like my own kids were influencing each other there, and it influenced me. Reminded me, I started thinking to myself, do I got one foot in the grave? For fuck's sake, like, what is this? Like, do they know something I don't know? Like, I don't move around like I did when I was 20, but man. But that same influence, that factor of influence on social media. I mean, think about it. When you click on Twitter, if you're listening to this, you're predominantly coming to Twitter to see what I'm either pointing reference to, or maybe I'm sharing a trade example or something. I'm making a post of some kind, and you're waiting for that next dopamine hit. Well, if you're finding yourself chasing that kind of shit on social media about who's hot right now, which system's better, I don't have a system. Okay, I don't have a system. I don't have a singular plan outside of what you have been shown on 2022. In my private mentorship, I made 12 extremely complex and complicated models. And I did that to weed out the assholes. And I knew they would be sharing it. I knew they'd be pushing it around. Those models make money, but they are so high end and high demanding, nobody is going to follow them because they are forcing people to do very specific things that they're not going to wait for. But every single one of them make money. And I'm just going to tip my hand and tell you that I have told them in private mentorship that they are to use the 2022 model and to simply replace the PD array that the fair value gap is, simply use the breaker or an order block or a mitigation block or an institutional order flow entry drill. Everything else is the same. That's it. It is not complicated. I complicated it because I knew I had rats in the house with me. Okay. And I smashed a lot of their heads, throwing their asses out. And now we're at the stage where only the real students that are interested in learning how to do it, they're in there, we're engaging on the forum, and there it is. But I will share that, and I divulge that openly, so that way you know. When people are out there trying to say, I have ICT mentorship, and ICT's opening up his mentorship, or you see people out there pretending to be me saying, I'm opening up my mentorship. I'm not opening up my fucking mentorship. I'm not. I'm mentoring right now. I'm sitting here droning on and on, mentoring you right now, giving you gold. Like, I'm giving you the real shit, the real things. This is exactly how I talked to my one-on-ones in the 90s. When I sat with people one-on-one and trained them individually, this is exactly how I talk to them. I talk to them just like this. I use these same reference points. I've talked about this almost verbatim. The piece of paper I'm holding is the same discolored piece of paper from 1996. Yes, it looks like it's been, it looks like it's had better days. But hey, it's a long time ago, right? But you have to know that social media is toxic, and you're trying to keep up with the Joneses and the social media equity curve that everyone's trying to be the person of interest right now. The path to consistency is doing things over and over and over again that are consistently resulting in yielding positive results. And the easiest way to build confidence in what you're doing is finding comfort and trust in knowing that enough is enough. 10 handles. 10 handles in the E-mini S&P. It's $500 per contract. So I don't know where you're from, but I don't mind if I got $500 a day. $500, it's pretty good. I average a little bit more than that per day in ad revenue on YouTube. It's nice. It's a nice little kitty of money. But something happens when you get in there and you push a button, and because if it starts taking off real quick, you start thinking, oh, it might go down to that other thing that's way down here. Because what happens if there's a 50 handle day? What happens if it isn't? And you didn't take your profit and it reverses. That's the perspective you're supposed to have. You got to get paid when it gives you the opportunity to get paid. That's why you're here. You're not here for trophies. You're not here for fucking clout. Okay. You're here to make money. That's it. You're not here for friends. You're not here for relationships. You're not here for any kind of attention. You're here to just find some money. That's it. And consistently find an approach that gives you the opportunity to bank that. And you have to do this in your demo account for months to get used to doing that. And over time, how much time? Could take years for some of you, and maybe less for others. But for a rule of thumb, an approach that can be, in my opinion, replicated by the majority of you, not every one of you. Some of you are just never going to be able to do this, and that's the reality of it. Doesn't mean I'm a failure. It doesn't mean I'm a fraud. It doesn't mean my concepts don't work. It just simply means that you can't do it. And there should be no shame in that. If you ever get to the point where you come to the conclusion that you can't, then okay, no problem. Don't torture yourself anymore. I've had relationships and friends with people that over the last 30 years, they're not here anymore. They ended themselves. Not because they traded my concepts and they failed, because they did their own thing and they lost. And they lost big and they ended themselves. And I also have friends that did very little in terms of damage to themselves monetarily, and they killed themselves for nothing. Nothing. 50 grand? Your whole life is 50 grand? Every one of my vehicles that are paid for, and I'm not leasing, by the way. The titles, there's no stamps or a lien against any of them. Vinny. All of my vehicles cost more than $50,000. And my friend ended himself. $50,000 gone. He's no here. He's not here anymore. Bunch of sleeping pills, and he's resting in peace, I guess. That's how bad it can be if you can't wrestle this stuff beforehand. And you would have never expected that from him. He seemed happy. He seemed chipper all the time. Growing up, we were, the typical. But this kind of stuff, it broke him. And he didn't give any sign outwardly. Left a note saying, I lost everything. I can't do it. That sucks. Because you can't say anything to him anymore. You can't encourage him. You can't float him alone and say, hey, look, I'll fund you to get you back. And there's a lot of you that listen to me. And I don't know where you're at in your life. I don't know what you've done, what kind of harm you can have to yourself. But I try to do everything I can. I try to do everything I can to keep these types of things from occurring again. And one of the fears I have is, say I do meet an untimely end, okay? Lord calls me home and that's his business and I'm ready when he wants to do it. But if my kids don't know how to do this like I want them to know it, I would not want them to feel that kind of pressure. I wouldn't want them to have that level of pressure on them that they feel like it's too much, it's overwhelming. So growing up, I pushed a lot for them to want to do what I do, but I didn't push so hard that they would feel like they have to do that. So that's why I drove them into working. That way, it wasn't me twisting their arm like a dad saying, go to my alma mater, go to my college and try to live vicariously through my kids. I am dying to live vicariously through my kids as a trader. I want to see them doing well. And me grow older, watching them do, wild exploits and conquering things and taking down huge windfall victories and things. I want to see that. Not just in one kid. I want all my children to do that. But it might be an unrealistic expectation for me. It's clearly not going to happen with my daughter. At least for right now, it hasn't. But I forced them into having jobs, thinking that would be better for them. And when I was raising them, I got in arguments with people online. They would say, oh, because I told them, I said, look, I'm setting them up. They ain't going to do any of that stuff. And a guy sends me an email or rips into me and says, you're doing the worst thing you can do, and blah, blah, blah. I think I've said this before. Matter of fact, I know I have. But I started seeing some of those things manifest in Cody. And it made me change my approach with the other ones. And I make them work. They don't have to work, but I make them work. And they've had issues with, having anger towards me because why don't you just do this for me? And why don't you just, give me this and give me that. And there's been a few times where I've almost buckled and said, you know what, I just want to make it easier for them. That's the worst thing I could have done. They're having the greatest life lesson right now, working their jobs. They don't make a lot of money. I mean, Caleb makes about $1,100 a week warehousing. And he's doing his little thing with his trading development. He's not in a hurry to be a millionaire. He's interested in getting comfortable with talking in front of all of you. He wants to do a YouTube channel. He's like, man, that'd be nice if I could get a YouTube channel like yours, Dad. And I'm going to actively promote him. And I will be on his shit periodically to build his base up. But it's to me, it's encouraging to see at least one of my kids, because I think crypto has messed up Cody. Like, I think it's left a bad taste in his mouth. I mean, we talked last week or whatever, and he was like, I said to him, why don't you just simply focus on index futures? Don't do Forex. Don't do anything else. Don't touch crypto anymore. I'll spot you a little bit of cash to get you started, and then we'll work together. And I'll just show you what you need to be focusing on. Use what I laid out for Kirsten, and then there it is. You do that, everything will be fine. And don't try to do more than it's necessary. But he suffers from a lot of anxiety, and he treats it with marijuana, which I don't like that smoking aspect of it, but I don't have anything against edibles. I don't have anything against the oils, the tinctures. That benefited me. So I have nothing against it. I used to be a big opponent. We had arguments, and I was angry with him for a long time. But I think that for him to do this, he would have to stop doing that, at least when he trades, because he gets a little bit more paranoid when he's using it. But he does it, in his mind, he's doing it to calm himself down. But if you can find a way that systematically has a process of seeing setups that form continuously, okay? Just think for a second, because this is the big disconnect that everybody has about competing and trading and doing both sides of the fucking market, trading. If you know the bias, and I've already told you how to map out the year in this whole presentation here today. If this idea of everything I've mapped out resonates with you, I want you to sit down in your charts and think about what happens if you can get 6 handles a day. That's easy. Do 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon. You don't even have to have a full pool. What does that mean? Get in your entry and go to your full terminus target. 3 handles is shit. It's nothing. Like, that's nothing. That's nothing. Like, I could literally almost close my eyes and throw a fucking dart at a wall and put stickers all over the wall and have yes, buy, yes, sell. And whatever I hit on it, I can still get 3 handles out of that just by static price action alone. It sounds unbelievable, but it really is that easy. 3 handles is nothing. It's just static price action alone. You can get that. Now, if you know when it's likely to have the order flow in one direction, aiming for a particular high or low intraday, and you're going in and you're trying to get 3 handles in the morning, 3 handles in the afternoon, you have a recipe that you consistently aim just for that. You're not trying to get the full range. You're not trying to get 10 handles. All you got to do is simply do that and let money management do the heavy lifting. If you average 11% a week, which I know some of you are like, what the fuck? 11%? Like, come on, Michael, come on. 11%? That's a lot. Actually, it's not. If you're number one, if you're competing and you have a system that has lots of setups, I have lots of setups. I have a repertoire and an arsenal that is absolutely unmatched. I have shit that nobody's ever seen before. I'm going to share some of that next year. But you only need a small little piece every single day. And here's what fucks up everybody. They all want to rush to the high end of that leaderboard and stay there and taunt everybody. They want to get to a safe high ground And they all want to get there real, real quick. That's the built-in advantage. You got to play the long game. The long game is taking small little pieces, even on one contract, and let it build up each time. Each time, build it up, build it up. And when you get your 3, you stop. Wait till the next session. Get your 3, stop. Close the fucking shit down. Don't trade anymore. Everybody else is going to be pushing. They're going to be buying and selling the same day because they think their fucking system does amazing things, and they end up fucking drawing down. Everybody does that. Everyone loses their ass that way. Don't be like them. Know what you're looking for, aim for it, hit it, walk.